I hope you are doing well. An update from sunny England. Unfortunately, we are back in lockdown. Boo! I thought this was the 4th lockdown because it just feels like there has been an absolute ton of lockdowns here in England, but actually it turns out it's the 3rd. I think I was getting muddled up because back in December there were quite a lot of restrictions imposed upon us, and depending on where you lived, you couldn't leave the house anyway. So if you're in Essex, parts of Essex I think are the southeast, you're in tier 4, which meant that you couldn't leave the house. So I guess that's why I thought it was the 4th lockdown. Anyway, with this being the new national lockdown, there are now rules that cover everywhere, and those rules do cover exercise and what is permitted. Basically, you're not supposed to leave the house at all unless it's essential, but one thing you are allowed to do is go and exercise once a day. So, with regard to cycling, I've been trying to figure out what is the correct definition of the rules. I've checked the government website and it says that you are allowed to go somewhere to exercise. So you can go to a public space such as a park or a beach, but that you shouldn't travel outside your local area to go and exercise somewhere. So you couldn't drive to a beauty spot and go and take your exercise there. That would be just not allowed. The thing is, in terms of cycling, are you allowed to, like, how far are you allowed to go for a bike ride? I mean, I'm not travelling specifically outside my local area to go for a bike ride. I'm intending on going for a bike ride from my house. So the question is, how far am I allowed to ride away from my house? Say a local person is allowed to drive to the beach and go and walk their dog on the beach. Can I ride to the beach and do a big loop back to my house? Presumably that would be acceptable. I think what's not acceptable is going for a massive long ride up over Dartmoor to Exeter, for instance, or anything that takes you miles and miles away from home. That definitely would not fall in any way within the rules. But yeah, with regards to cycling, it would be nice to have a bit more clarity. Anyway, what I'm going to do is saddle up on my road bike. I've not ridden it for ages, but it's a beautiful sunny day and I want to feel the wind in my hair and get some speed up and just feel a bit of freedom after being cooped up in the house all day. So, well, all day. It's actually the morning. So what I'm going to do is one of my favourite local loops. It's a really short one because obviously I don't want to go far from home, but I'm going to do it a bunch of times. So come along and check it out. It's a very beautiful frosty morning, but because of that frost I'm going to have to be very, very careful, so I'll be sticking to the main roads where hopefully I won't encounter any ice. Can't tell you how good it feels to be out here. It's absolutely bolting, but the sun is shining. The sun, I can feel it. I'm drinking up the vitamins. It's just, oh, I needed this. My GoPro battery died, so I'm not going to be able to do much of that nice POV riding footage, but the good news is I live somewhere gorgeous. This is local, so I'm going to do a few loops of this wonderful circuit down to the estuary of the river. I've had a few thoughts on the lockdown restrictions and what they mean explicitly for me, and some questions for you about that, so I'm going to continue down there and then we'll chat in a bit. Oh, what? The coffee shop is open. I don't really feel like I've done enough riding to get a coffee. I'm going to have to do this loop several times before I have one. But gosh, I'm enjoying it. I'm always happy that I left London and moved to the countryside, and since lockdown happened, gosh, like more than ever. I mean, look how pretty it is here. I'm going to show you this gorgeous square. It's picture perfect, isn't it? What a place. Anyway, I will continue. A frosty beach. And that's where I swim in summer with my little girl. So whilst I was riding, I was having a think about the lockdown rules and essentially what they mean, and I just want to be very, very, very clear before I continue. I am not in any way seeking to bend the rules or manipulate them or interpret them my own way. I'm just thinking about how they apply. So on my tax return, I'm a cyclist. My job is cycling. I'm sponsored by brands as an athlete. I also make money out of YouTube. I'm a cyclist. That is my job. So with that being my job, am I allowed to go and do it? Many of my friends are still working and they are still driving to work to do their work, and yeah, so I guess I was just wondering, would that apply to me? Would me going out doing my training rides so that I can race later on this year, and me going out and making my videos, which, you know, I pay my mortgage with, does the fact that I do that for a living mean that I am allowed to go out on bike rides? I mean, like bigger bike rides, as opposed to just staying essentially in a very, 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 very small area. I guess you might argue that the fact that I can do laps of a village means I shouldn't need to go further afield, but that's very, very restrictive and difficult if you are like, you know, cycling's your job. I just wondered, would that be a fair thing to do? I actually just wish that the government would be a little clearer about this, because it is it seems difficult to know what to do when you're a cyclist. But yeah, it's just my thoughts. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I would like to know what you think about that, but I'm going to continue doing this small loop for now until I get further clarification on it. That looks so cool. Another nice seaside spot. Love it here. I mean, you can see why I got into swimming with a coastline like that. I think this year's purchase has got to be a paddleboard. It's just, the coastline is phenomenal around here, and I feel like I need cheering up. So I think I'm going to buy myself a paddleboard. One last lovely seaside view because I just realised I don't even have time to do any more laps. I have got to go and pick up my daughter from nursery. In the UK, it's only nursery age children that are actually able to go to school at the moment. Everyone else is being kept at home, and I'm really, really, really happy for our little girl that she can go, because I think missing out on all the social interaction at such a key age in her development is, you know, really, really difficult. However, I feel so sorry for all the other school children who aren't able to go at all. I mean, hugely disappointing. My neighbour, her daughter, just started college. She had one day at college and then the whole thing was cancelled. I mean, how devastating that would be. Anyway, I must hurry up because I have got to go and pick her up. I'm just looking over here, there's someone on a paddleboard, and now I'm more sure than ever that I need to buy mine. But I'm going to go because of course I'm late and disorganised. You know me, but hope you guys are doing well. Let me know what you think about the local rules and my job and whatever, and how far away from home we should be allowed to ride. Hopefully British Cycling and the government will clarify that soon. I'm speaking mega quickly because I've got to go and I'm in a hurry, so I'll see you later. Bye!